Hey boys and girls, I have some exciting news. We get to do our second page in our fantasy writing story. We went ahead and we brainstormed on Monday what we could write about, maybe what setting, what characters, what problem and resolution that our story could have. And then yesterday we made our very first page in our book. You had the chance to be the author and the illustrator. And I told you on Thursday, you're gonna have the chance to share your story with all of your friends, and you're gonna be able to listen to their stories as well. You're going to really love it. I think that it's going to be the coolest thing that we've done so far. So again, we went ahead and brainstormed, and then we wrote our first page, and now we're going to write our second page. And on the second page, we are going to have our problem. What happens in the story that is wrong? What do we need to fix? So let's go ahead and take a look at Miss Geyer's brainstorming first. I said that we were writing a story that's fantasy. Remember, fantasy stories, are they real or are they fake? They are fake, right? So I have my fantasy story. I chose that I was going to write about Yellow the banana and Appy the apple. My setting was going to be at the playground, and it's going to turn into a rainy day. My problem is that she gets mud on her shoes, and my resolution is going to be that Appy decides to have a mud fight. Okay, so I said today we are going to write about our problem. So I'm going to go ahead and flip to my very first page. And I want to show you I added some color and some details, and I could even add even more details by adding some labels. So I could put this is the sun, and I could put that this is clouds, clouds. I could put that this is the grass, grass. You could add whatever details you want. We had talked about adding labels to our pictures to show people that we know exactly what we're writing or drawing about. And now I went ahead and I went back and edited to make sure that I had capital letter at the beginning of my sentence. I had my sight words spelled correctly, and I had finger spaces in between each word. And then I had an ending point, my period, my exclamation point, or my question mark if I'm asking a question. So my first page says Yellow and Appy decide to go to the playground. So I want you to go back and I want you to check your first page, and I want you to really make sure that you started with a capital letter. And if you didn't, I just want you to write over it. You could even use a marker if you have one. Just make that, if you put a lowercase y, I want you to put a capital Y on top of it. Or if you use pencil, you can erase it and fix it. Whatever it is that you feel is going to make your paper look the best. I want you to go through and check to make sure that you put finger spaces between each word. I want you to check to make sure that all of your sight words were spelled correctly. And then last, but definitely not least, I want you to check to make sure that you have an ending point. Did you put your period, your exclamation point, or your question mark? And if you have all of those things completed, then you are ready to move on to your second page. So here we go, my second page in my story. I said I'm going to have a problem. So far in my story, I do not have a problem yet. However, I do know, let me draw my square. I do know that on my first page, was it a rainy day yet? No. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add, sorry, let me scoot this forward. I'm going to add that it is going to start to rain. So if it's going to start to rain, what should I have inside my picture? Appy and Yellow are now at the playground. So what should I draw in my picture? Should Appy and Yellow be in my picture? Definitely, right? What about a slide or maybe a swing? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And instead of drawing a sun, I'm going to draw maybe some rain clouds. Are rain clouds bright blue, or are they like a grayish dark color? I think that I'm going to use like a grayish dark color to show that I have rain clouds. And I'm also going to put little drops of rain falling down. And then I know that my problem is that it starts to rain, so it gets muddy, right? So I'm going to draw a picture of Appy, right? I think it was Appy. Let me flip back to make sure. Appy decides to have a mud fight. So yes. So we have Yellow who gets mud on her shoes. So let's start with that part because that is my problem in the story. So I want to make sure that I don't forget that. Again, let me scoot this forward. All right. So I have Yellow. I'm gonna draw a slide. So let me draw a slide going up. And then I'm gonna draw like some little legs holding the slide up, hopefully. And then I'm going to have the bottom part of the slide and maybe some stairs for them to get up. Good. And then again, I'm going to draw like a puddle down here. And we know that my puddle is going to be what? What does she step in? Mud. So I'm gonna make this brown. I know that I need some clouds, and they're going to be a gray color. And I need to also have some raindrops coming out of my clouds because it's now a rainy day. It's no longer sunny. And then I can draw another cloud. Good. And then now I need to add in my characters. I know that Appy is the one who goes down the slide, so I'm going to draw a picture of Appy. She's going to be right next to the slide. And this time, how should I make Appy's eyes look? Is she happy right now? No, she's crying, right? So I'm going to give her some eyeballs. And this time I'm going to, what happens whenever you're upset sometimes? You cry, right? So I'm going to give her some little teardrops that are coming out of her eyeball. And I'm going to draw her little nose again. And this time I'm going to give her a big sad face. She is so sad. Her shoes are now muddy. And we know that her shoes are going to be what color because they're muddy? Brown, right? So I have Appy, who is very sad. And I have Yellow, who is her friend, right? And at this point, we just have a problem. We don't really have a solution yet, so I'm going to draw Yellow. And I'm going to give her some legs. She does not have mud on her shoes. And she should look sad too. She feels bad. Her friend is not very happy right now. So I could give her a frowny face also. Sometimes do your eyebrows grow up whenever you're sad? Yeah. Giving them their arms. Don't forget their arms, Miss Geyer. They're gonna look crazy. Their hands. Oops. Did that one too long? It's okay. And then again, Appy needs some arms. And there I have it. The last thing that I'm going to add is probably another cloud right here. And then this time they're standing on what? Are they floating in the air? No, they are on some grass, but we know that underneath the grass was this muddy puddle, right? Or on top of the grass was this muddy puddle. So I'm gonna go back and color this green, but then I'm gonna have this brown puddle that Appy goes down the slide and ends up getting her shoes muddy. And then I'm gonna add in like a little bar for them to hold on at the top when they go down the slide. And that is all. I could add more details, but this is the next page of my story. Don't you think it looks cute? All right, now I need to put this into words. So I know if they go to the playground, what happens? It starts to rain, right? So I would say it. What do I start with? What kind of letter? Capital, right? So it, that's a sight word, right? It, finger space, art, finger space, it starts. To, we know to, right? It starts to, finger space, rain, period. And I'm going to add in a second sentence. What's happening in my picture? It starts to rain. Appy, capital letter. Remember, our first letter in our sentence starts with a capital. Appy gets her what happens? She gets her shoes muddy, right? Shh. Ooh, we talked about that. How do I make the sh sound? SH, right? Shh. Ooh, 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 ooh. How can I make an ooh? Maybe an O? Shoe. Gets her shoes. Finger space. Does she get them wet or does she get them muddy? Muddy, good. Muddy. I'm going to put an exclamation point because I'm going to shout it. So let me read it to you. It starts to rain. Appy gets her shoes muddy. What do you guys think? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add some details. I'm going to color in my picture. I'm going to add some labels. I can add Appy's name. And then yellow, we know yellow. And then what do I have up here coming out of the clouds? Rain. Rain. And then I have my, what is this? Slide. Slide. This is what does she step in? Mud. Mud. And that is all of the details that I'm going to add, and then I'm going to go ahead and color it. Tomorrow I will show you my colored picture and we'll go back to check to make sure I started with the capital letter. I have finger spaces, I have ending marks, and I spell all my sight words correctly. And that is it. I hope to see your pictures of your stories later on today. I really enjoyed them yesterday, so keep up the good work. Bye, guys.